So this was your homework assignment. It's quadratic inequalities. It says the function y equals negative x squared plus 24x represents a model of the daily profit y dollars earned by a restaurant when x people dine there for a day. So what I did is I went ahead and placed the equation. I placed the equation into Desmos, and I came up with a table. If one person goes there, the profit is $23. If two people go there, the profit is $44. If three people go there, the profit is $63. If four people attend, the profit is $80. If five people attend the restaurant, we have 93. And then if six people attend, the profit is 108. So it says how many people need to eat there in order for the profit to be at least 80. So the wording is telling us that we want to have at least 80. And when it says at least 80, the wording means anything that is 80 or more. In this case, we know that we need at least four people or more. So I'm going to write this in words here. We need at least four people or more. Because if four people attend, then we have an $80 profit. If more than four people attend, you're looking at 93, 108, and that's going to be your profit, okay? B, how many people need to eat there in order for the profit to be more than 108? Now, you want the profit to be greater than 108. In other words, it can't be 6 because 108 is not greater than 108. So you need to have at least, we need more six people to dine in the restaurant. We need more than 6 people to attend the restaurant. If 6 people attend, that isn't what they're asking for. They're asking for more than $108. The last one, C, is it possible for the restaurant to lose money for a day? And I would say no, because we really can't have negative people attending the restaurant. So I would say no. We can't have negative people attending, so therefore we can't lose money. So we're going to use this table for 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to go ahead and answer these questions to the best that we can using our table. And what I'm going to do for number 2 is I'm just going to list the x values. It says use the table to determine the values of x. In other words, you have to find x when y is greater than 10. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight those values that are greater than 10. So we have y is greater than 10, so I know that 14 is greater than 10. 9 is not greater than 10. 6, 5, 6, 9, and 14. So to list the values, the only values of x when y is greater than 10 is going to be negative 2 and 4. Now it says use a table to determine when the values of x determine the values of x for which y is less than or equal to 5. And I'm going to use that same concept, but I'm going to use red. So for number 3, it's going to be red. Which values of y is less than or equal to 5? Well, there's only one value that is equal to 5. So when y is 5, we know that x is going to be 1. So I'm going to go ahead and list the value, which is just 1. So remember, question 2, I answered it using the green highlight, and then question 3, I answered using the red highlight. And number 4, explain how you would know that there are no x values for which y is less than 0. So I'm going to use a yellow, and I'm just going to highlight those values that are greater than 0. Well, these are all greater than 0. So that tells you that there are no x values in this table in which y is less than 0. So that's how you would want to explain it. In checking all the y values, none of them are less than 0. None of the y values, as I was saying, none of the y values are less therefore we have no x values. For number 5, it says, use algebraic methods, a table, and a graph to explain why the inequality has no solutions. What I did is I used a graph to explain that there is no solution. So if you graph this using Desmos, and I'm just doing a sketch, you're going to notice it's going to look something similar to this. And mind you, this is just a sketch. This is actually representing, this whole thing is representing x squared minus 6x plus 15 less than 0. If there was a solution, the shaded region would have to intersect the equation. So in this case, the quadratic equation did not intersect the shaded area, so therefore there's no solution. So what you would explain is, since there is no intersection, since we have no intersection there, and I apologize, I'm trying to write this with my iPad, there will be no solution. For number 6, we are going to solve this inequality by algebraic methods, and what I did ask you was to first write it as x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. Then you have to find the factors of 4. Actually, negative 4. So it's going to be 1 and negative 4. And then what you do is you add these two, or you subtract here. In this case, you're adding 1 plus negative 4 gives you negative. Now we're going to go ahead and list the factors. So we have x plus 1 times x minus 4 is equal to 0. Set each factor equal to 0. And then what we're going to do is we're going to solve for x, so we have to subtract 1. So that x equals negative 1, and then we add 4, so that's x equals 4. And these are called critical points. And they're called critical points because they're gonna help and us to find the solution for this inequality. We have 0, -1, we have 4, and we notice it's open circle since there isn't an equal sign on the inequality statement. We got to check to the right of 4, check to the left of -1, and then we also have to check between -1 and 4. So let's try, let's check -2. So -2 would be here. So -2 squared minus 3 times -2 minus 4, and we got to check if that's greater than 0. We're going to check 0. 0 squared minus 3 times 0 minus 4, and check if that's greater than 4. And then we're going to check 5. So we have 5 squared minus 3 times 5 minus 4 is greater than 0. Now I know that this right here, is going to be 0. So we just have to check. Is -4 greater than 0? That's going to be false. So the answer is not going to be between, it will not be between -1 and 4. So now let's go ahead and figure out -2 squared. So we have -2 squared minus 3 times -2 minus 4, and we get 6. So the question is 6 greater than 0? And that's going to be true. And I think if you do 5 squared minus 3 times 5 minus 4, I think you get 6 also. Yeah, you get 6. So is 6 greater than 0? That's also true. So what is your answer? Your answer will be, and I'm going to put it right here on the side, x is less than -1 or x is greater than 4. So now I'm going to do x squared minus 64 is less than 0. Once again, we have x squared minus 64 is equal to 0. And I know that's a difference of squares. Remember, x squared minus 8 squared. So this is x plus 8. X minus 8 equals 0. So you have x plus 8 equals 0. X minus 8 equals 0. So x equals -8. X equals 8. So those are your critical points. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line. I have 0. I have -8. And I have 8. And of course I have arrows here. Open circle since there's no equal sign. So we're going to check. We're going to check what's going to be our answer. Remember, the possible answers are anything between -8 and 8, or the value is greater than 8, or the value is less than -8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check 0. So I have 0 squared minus 64 is less than 0. So this is -64. Is -64 less than 0? And I would have to say yes. That's true. Now, if you try 9, you have 9 squared minus 64 is less than 0. This is 81 minus 64 less than 0. And I think this is 17 less than 0. That's false. And then if you check -9, you notice that that's 81 minus 64 is less than 0. Once again, you have 17 less than 0, and that's false also. So what's your answer? Your answer will be anything that is greater than -8 and x less than 8. That's your answer. Okay?